Excellent. We've now got, on a similar theme, Kaya. Woo-hoo! I got fancy notes because I got a work iPad. Ready to go? Hi, I'm Kaya, and I'm going to do a little tale about how the leaseholder system is essentially feudalism, and the medieval system where essentially you lend land from the crown in exchange for military service or military protection, depending on where on the scale you are. And this is essentially the modern-day peasant's guide to leasehold. So home ownership, always been like the thing that we're told to aspire to. But what if your castle has no sinking fund, managing agent that makes you wish it was Sheriff of Nottingham, and this is our castle, the Cinnamon Buildings in Liverpool. Beautiful, modern view of the live birds, both cathedrals, the River Mersey and Albert Docks, well, until all the hotels came up around it, but it was nice the first couple of years. So, what is leasehold ownership? It's a form of property ownership where you own the property for a fixed period of time, while the land is owned by somebody else, which is your freeholder or your landlord. Essentially, you're buying the right to occupy the property for the duration of the lease, rather than owning it outright. Well, it's you and the bank, really. You know, Kay said anyway. And a company in Doncaster, and a guy representing the freeholders' pension fund, who seems to always be on annual leave. And most flats in... Oh, yeah, we did it that way around. So, ownership of the property gets returned to the freeholder at the end of the lease. That might not be when you're alive, but essentially it's like Blockbuster, and you just basically get fined if you don't return it. And most flats in England are leaseholds. Around 70% of all leasehold properties are flats. Just only a few houses that are flats. And I was really naive to this because you might have heard my accent, I'm Scouse-Norwegian. So I had a very Nordic naivety. We have a very different system. People own stuff and share responsibility. And owners do dugnad, which is when everybody come together and we all like rake the grass of the common areas together, or you can pay your way out of it. But it's very different, madness. We have samleie, very different to samleie, only Emilia will get that one. It's a co-ownership where each owner fully owns their own unit and shares responsibility for common areas. It's essentially a share of the freehold. And that's the most common. And then you got borettslag, this is my hometown. It means housing cooperative. And it means you own a share in the cooperative that gives you the right to live in a specific unit, but the corporate together owns the building. I thought I bought a borettslag. It's resident-led, democratic housing cooperative designed for stability and affordability. Instead, I bought a ticket to the English feudal revival. So, you pay these service charges, which there are no cap on. They have to be reasonable, but the freeholders decide essentially what's reasonable. And the share of flats with a sub £1,000 service charge has gone ridiculously down to under 20%. And it's kind of like the Irish giving away the potatoes to the English. And we said most flats are leasehold, right? Which means that this affects a lot of people. It's a time-limited private contract where your right is often secondary to a profit-seeking freeholder, more like renting with paperwork than ownership. And then came Grenfell. The system cracked completely open. Because all of a sudden, people can't sell the flat and they can't afford to live there. You can't sell the flat because you can't get the building regulations. And especially in the north, because guess what? There are more people taking advantage of people up in north, and it's gone up to by 60, almost 61% in northeast, and not very far after in northwest. And they're like ticket time bombs. We can essentially, we're living somewhere that can die. And what service do you get? This is literally from a couple of months ago in my building. This is the service we're getting. We're paying £8,000 a year. 1 year we were asked for £48,000. I've had to take out a second mortgage to be able to afford the service charges in the place that it's our luxury living apartment block. So essentially, right to manage. We started to go for right to manage. It's been terrible. Not been an easy ride. We've been revolting. I've been leading the process since 2022. They've been scaremongering me, threatening me that I will go to prison. They've been horrible in absolutely every way. We've had tribunal, but we take over tomorrow.
expect to get very much. It's a new beginning. It's not the perfect solution. But we don't have all of Albert dogs anymore, but we can still see a little bit of mercy. Thank you, that's me.
Now I can imagine, this is where people live, yeah? This is about homes, yeah? Safety, security. And now for something